Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another figure review. Today, a little bit different from classified Marvel Legends and the other stuff I've done. We have PlayStation character action figures coming out, um, and one that I was really interested in because I'm a big fan of the franchise is Aloy here from the Horizon game series. This one specifically being from the second game, Horizon Forbidden West. Very good game. I'm still playing it even after completing the game. There's just a lot to do, and it's just so much fun killing a lot of the machines in that game. So highly recommend anybody who has a PlayStation to play this game and experience it. It's a fantastic game. But with that being said, yes, they released or announced these figures, and I was excited, especially for her. She's our main character that we control and play as. So yeah, it was just exciting to see that she was getting an action figure, and here it is. I will say I hate Amazon for shipping it in this stupid bag rather than in a box, because it did damage the box itself, and it's actually a nice looking box. I was looking at it beforehand. I already cut some of the tapes in order to remove some of the stuff. But if we take a quick look here, we have a nice sort of digital render, a nice art here, the logo there of the game, 42 points of articulation, Aloy Nora Hunter's outfit, deluxe 6-inch figure. So yeah, this is classified as a deluxe, and you'll see why. She does come with a lot of accessories. This is her regular outfit from the game. This is basically all you get with this figure. So yeah, we get a lot of goodies. It's even cool because we get the original product sculptor. So we have his name, and then we have the person who painted the figure down here. So it's very nice to see that they're crediting, people who worked on this. And here's a nice little read up on her here, if you guys want to quickly read that if you're interested. But it's very nice. The sleeve out here, very PlayStation-esque colors, the white and the blue, very PlayStation. Even the top of the box here, which, this is a slip-on, you take it off, and then you have beautiful art there on the front, which is, I believe, from the game cover. So it's just very, iconic art. At least for me, I really do like a lot of the art they have. And here's that art extended with the machine flying overhead. Very cool. We have the Shapes collection, I think is what they're going to call this series. But yeah, they do have God of War Kratos coming out and whatnot, which I'm also interested in, but I'll see if I get them. Aloy here was really the standout for me. And the beautiful art here on the back, just amazing, with different machines. We have a snake. What is this? This is sort of a boar, wild boar. You have your Velociraptor robot there. Very cool. This San Francisco Bridge. I may be mistaken about that, but I'm not sure. But yeah, just amazing art. And then when we open it up, we have even more art in the inside here, going all around. And then they try to replicate the similar art here on the front with this sort of backdrop in there for the figure. We have our accessories here, this sort of high-tech kind of thing going on. So yeah, all our accessories are on this side. And then we have the figure, which is on a tray on itself, kind of loose. So there it is. There's the figure, so I gotta pop her out of there. But yeah, you're left with, that nice little backdrop, beach backdrop there. Let me get all the accessories out and get her out, and then we'll take a closer look at everything. Starting with accessories here, I am pleasantly surprised with the amount of stuff we get, and there are some stuff that I will show off that I think is just fantastic and over the top. So to start with our hands, we do have two wide open hands out of the packaging. So two wide open hands, and then we get three other hands for her left hand or left arm, and three other ones for her right arm. We have this sort of gripping. So yeah, very nice gripping hand, nicely sculpted and painted. You can see the nails there. So yeah, very nice. You get a punchy punch, which is nice. And then we get a sort of arrow holding hand, which is very nice and very much useful. She does use her bow a lot. We then have a sort of pointing finger, which is very nice, nicely sculpted overall. And then again, we get a sort of gripping hand and a punchy punch fist there. Next up, the faces. Out of the box, she does come with a sort of cheeky smile looking off to the side. And yeah, that's how it's meant to be sculpted. Even on the packaging, it shows her looking off to the side. I like it. It's very expressive. As you can see at certain angles, it can be very expressive. And I like that, you know, it's very dynamic for sure, but I like how it's sculpted overall. But then we get 5 extra head or face sculpts. We get a sort of screaming, angry head sculpt here, also sculpted nicely and painted very nicely. We also get a more stoic or I don't know the expression, just kind of angry, honestly, a little bit of a frown, kind of. And then we get a sort of surprised look here, which looks nice too. Nice sort of different paint apps for the face, different face paint, which, you know, in the game you can acquire different face paint and, you know, use that throughout your gameplay. And then we have 2 other examples of those face paints here. So we have a smiling here, very expressive, nicely painted. And then we get a more, I guess, just normal looking but with very, you know, interesting face paint there, looking very cool, also painted very nicely overall. So yeah, I think the face sculpts look amazing and they're painted amazing. Again, each face paint is like, you know, reference to each of the tribes that is within the game. So if you've played the game, then you'll know where they're from and whatnot, but I won't get into depth with that. Moving on, we have our quiver here, which is sculpted nicely. We have some nice silver paint there, and then we have the sort of feathers here painted too. Not the greatest sculpted feathers, but, you know, it is a little detail and I appreciate it. Again, the silver here for the quiver, looking very nice. And then we do have the pig there. And yeah, we will not be able to insert this separate arrow, but this is for our bow over there, which I'll get into shortly here. But this one's sculpted nicely. You have a tip there, looks very nice, and then this sort of black and white banding there, and then the feather here. So yeah, very nice feather. I wish they would have included the different type of arrow ammo that we see in the game. That would have been neat, but you know, all of this is already good enough for me, so no complaints there. Just thought it would be cool to see different ammo types here. We have her staff here, which is one of her main weapons and main tools to override machines and take control of them. And yeah, you upgrade this throughout the game, very cool. You have some nice gold sort of paint there. You can see the shininess or reflectiveness, some nice feathers here. Just a lot of crazy detail. I mean, this game is just spectacular, full of details. You know, the machines themselves are very detailed and whatnot. But yeah, some nice feathers here on the back, different banding and wires going through it. So yeah, you can see it's very homemade. Like she put this together on her own, and that's just gives her more character of her ingenuity and, you know, how creative she is. But yeah, fantastic looking staff. Then we get into the bow, which I am pleasantly surprised because look at this. We have a string or some sort of elastic material going on here, which, you know, we don't see often in Marvel Legends or G.I. Joe Classified. So I was very surprised that we do get to have a string that goes back, and it seems sturdy. You know, I don't know how far you can push it, but I'd say about right there. I'm comfortable with about right there. So yeah, and then this is very pliable, so maybe you can get a little bit more. It'll fold with the bow. But yeah, just crazy detail with the bow as well, different paint and whatnot. Very nice to see some more feathers. Yeah, just overall satisfied with this bow. Again, very crazy looking bow, but that's just how the bows look in the game, you know. They're building these things out of whatever they can find. But yeah, very happy with the functional string here. Very nice touch of them to add here. And here we have Aloy herself. As you can see, we do have storage for all of her accessories. Well, most of them. I don't think we have anywhere to place the arrow here, but we do have storage for the crossbow. She can hold her staff, and the quiver just sort of plugs in into her skirt there. And just to show it off, we have this sort of stick on the back side here, so you can see that there. So that's where this plugs in, and then this sort of plugs in sort of like a ball joint. You can see how it goes in there. So it just goes in there, and yeah, it can rotate, and do usual ball joint stuff. But in terms of detail, it's amazing what they were able to do here, at least for Spinmaster. I know them for making board games because I have a few of their board games, and when they announced action figures, I'm like, they do action figures? I wasn't even aware of that. But there's a lot of crazy stuff going on here. Lots of detail, lots of smaller detail, which are sculpted on there. You can feel it. You have different pouches, some rope. Again, the detail on the skirt here, very nice. Some nice patterning here on the back side and like around the trim of her shirt. Again, the patterning here on the torso and on this vest thing on top of her shirt. It's just a lot of detail, a lot of paint, tiny little details, necklaces and whatnot. You have this sort of fur coat that goes on her back. I don't know if this is removable or not. I kind of tried and see if it was. I think it's glued on there. But yeah, that just completes the look, so no need to remove it, and it doesn't interfere with anything. We have a disc launcher here as one of the weapons from the new game. Would have been cool if we got a separate sort of disc, so we can pose her launching that. I forgot what this one was. I think this is just an armor piece on her forearm, but sculpted so nicely and painted very nicely. Yeah, I'm just overall fascinated. All these knots and ropes going on her forearm, very cool. It just looks fantastic, and this is like some sort of fur, if I can get it to focus. But yeah, just crazy detail going all around. Pants are a little more bland, but you still get some stitching sculpted on there. It's very nice. We do have pins, and I'll get into that later, but more armor pieces here and there. A lot of fur down here by the boots or her feet. Very cool. Again, just a lot of detail, and it's all sculpted and painted. So yeah, it's just amazing what they did here. I'm very excited. I'm very happy with how this turned out. Her hair looks gorgeous. Sort of fade into a lighter orange here. Very cool, very cool. I just like how this turned out. I really do. And that's not even mentioning articulation. I'm gonna get the spin base out of here. But yeah, let's get into articulation because I think there's a lot of good stuff going on here. I am just over the moon with this articulation. Oh my god, guys. But Yes, fantastic articulation. I also wanted to mention you have a hole here for her staff, so if you want her to hold the bow, you can store the staff on that same peg while she uses the bow, which is very nice. Now I did swap the faces, so we're gonna be going through articulation with her sort of angry face here. Starting, I don't know where to start because this is just articulation I don't think I've seen anywhere ever, but I mean, we have seen some of it, with Marvel Legends and whatnot, standard stuff. But there's some crazy stuff. Starting with the head. You have different ball joints for different sections of the hair. You have the metal section here. Your, I guess, looking at it from this point, yeah, your right side. And yeah, it's going to pop off. They are ball joints, so they will pop off. But they can easily go back. So you can see the ball joints there. They can spread out if you want that sort of aerodynamic poses of the hair, flowing up. You have another ball joint for these two on the side here, so they can also sort of just be taken to the back or leave them at the front, whatever you decide. Yeah, just a lot of possibility with posing, and I think that is a fantastic feature that they decided to include here. The head can look up, and that's where this sort of comes into play. She can look up very far up, and then you can obviously move these down for a more natural look. These are a little bit more tricky because they do just kind of float there, but some sort of hair flowing in the wind going that way sort of thing. So yeah, she can look up very far up, which is amazing. And looking down, it's just phenomenal. Again, these are just gonna sort of float there, but she can look down very, very far well. And this isn't popping off the faceplate, which I guess I forgot to mention and show, but you just have the shape here and two pegs, and you just sort of align them, and there they go. And yeah, I will say, I wish this was a little bit seamless, because you can definitely notice it like from the front here. But once you start moving her around, it's like it just fades away. It's like some weird magic going on. But yeah, I just do wish the top here would have like sunk into the underneath the hair a little bit better. At least that's just me, but like I said, it just seems to fade, and especially from far away, you don't notice it too much. So a little bit of a nitpick there. But arms, you have a hinge in there, so they go out about that much, and yes, this does get out of the way, so it's very nice. She seems to have a butterfly joint. I'm not too sure though. I mean, it does allow a little bit of movement in there, as you can see, but I don't think it's a official butterfly joint. But you do have your bicep swivel here, which is very nice, and then you have a hinge and swivel here at the elbow, which is very nice. Certain hands will have the vertical hinge, so your both gripping hands, which are for the staff or your bow, they hinge vertically up and down rather than horizontal. I believe most of the hands are horizontal hinges, yes, except for the pointing finger. This one also has a vertical hinge going up and down, so just thought I'd mention that. And then we have the torso articulation, so she can go back about that much with the upper torso ball joint, so it's sort of a ball joint. Look how much forward you can get with that. That's just amazing. And then you have your side to side, and then you can pivot, and then you have your ab crunch, and then you can get this much forward and then this much back. This is just amazing. This is amazing. It's so good. It's so good. I'm like lost for words here, but that's just amazing range for me. I really dig it. I mean, not even Marvel Legends can do that. Can you do that? Kind of, yeah, but the ball joint at the top is very limited because Hasbro hasn't figured out how to do ball joints on its own. She can only do that much. She does more back than forward, but she can hardly move forward. I mean, I had to go in and sort of fix the classified one too. They're not out of the woods either, because their ball joints are, I think, the worst in my opinion when it comes to the classified. They don't get a lot of crunch forward. I modified mine so that she can get some more forward, but you can see how much she gets there. But I don't know what wizardry Spinmaster did here, but look at that. Amazing range there. We get down to the feet, she can kick out about that much, do splits. Very nice. She can kick forward. Very nice. And then going back, not so much. I don't need her to kick back. You do have your upper thigh cut in there. You have double jointed knees, which are pinned, but they seem solid. They don't seem flimsy or gummy. And they don't really distract me all that much. I never had an issue with ball joints. So I'm happy. Would have been cool if we had pinless, definitely, but again, it doesn't distract me, and you get some good range out of these double jointed knees. Very nice. Now we don't have boot swivel up here, but something we did down here is a ball joint going up into the sort of boot cuff. So you have a ball joint in there that allows you to sort of pivot in there and rotate, sort of like a boot swivel in there, and that is just fantastic. I've never seen that, and it works pretty well, very decently. You can move side to side, and then you still have your ankle pivot here at the bottom, and then you still have your hinge and up, back, and then something that Hasbro hasn't mastered are toe joints. So there we go. We can see that they are very doable on female figures, toe joints. So yeah, I'm just beyond the moon with the articulation, and I may put some footage of different poses here, but just messing around with her off screen is just amazing. You can get a lot of different poses with her, and I'm all here for it. She looks great and poses well, and then the accessories are fantastic, such as this angry sort of angry face. I'm just super happy with this figure. I think they did a phenomenal job with all the details in the paint and whatnot. The articulation, like I said, phenomenal. Just an overall great action figure, especially coming from Spinmaster, which I only know them for board games, but them coming in and knocking it out of the park is very cool to see. I hope we get more PlayStation or PlayStation characters made into action figures. I'm definitely interested in buying a few more. Definitely Kratos. I think he's already available, so I'll see how much he is and whatnot. And he isn't like super. I guess it depends on who you are, but I think she was $50. But I think you get a good amount of accessories. Again, the articulation I think is worth it. All the detail and sculpting is worth it. If you're a fan of the video game series, I definitely recommend you picking it up. But yeah, I'm very happy with my purchase. She is phenomenal. Just looking at the face sculpt right now, I'm like, that is spot on to the video game model and character. So yeah, I'm gonna have a lot of fun posing her, taking pictures and whatnot, and I'll put some of the footage of some of the poses I get her into, either during the articulation segment or at the end of the video, so stick around for that. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I'll see you guys in a future video.